Well, lovely to meet you, Olga. I'm going to begin by asking what Momentum is all about and how you fit into this story.
I hope I fit. Momentum is a big action film where the lead is a female, and Alex, we realize, is probably an ex-CIA, a very highly trained ex-agent, but she's probably taking a little break, and she finds herself involved in a bank robbery, which she kindly does to kindly help a friend, which involves her in a much bigger situation, and she after that robbery she has to be on the run from a very, very shady organization, which we find out later who they are. And yeah, basically after the bank robbery she has to save her friends and save the world, and we find out whether she manages how to do it or not.
Because, I mean, as you said, the first time we were introduced to her, she is in the middle of a bank robbery.
Mm.
So we almost introduced her in a negative light. Was it then a kind of challenge to ensure that the audience do get on her side and root for her cause?
It's, you know, it's the story takes you there, but that's what was interesting to me. It wasn't, you know, she's not introduced right away as this perfect good guy, and she's not perfect at all. She has lots of flaws, and you realize she's done something really terrible in the past, and she's made mistakes. She's screwed up, and she's a real character. She's a real person. I think, you know, none of us is perfect, and everybody has a little bit of a bad in them, and we just all pretend that we're really good. And Alex, but I think she doesn't pretend anymore. She is who she is. She's accepted it, but she does have guilt and baggage that she carries with her, and that was actually very interesting. She's not some perfect Wonder Woman. She's a real human being who struggles through life, but she does mean good in the end. That's the most important thing.
And when you take on a role like this, do you have to try and find similarities between yourself and the character to help understand who they are, to get into their head? And are you similar to her in any way, apart from the sort of saving the whole world part?
Yeah, you know, I think there is similarity. I do get a tendency to put a lot of things on my shoulders, and I have a tendency to carry everything and to lead and, you know, to take care of everybody, and to be the breadwinner. Like this is all these things that I constantly, but I don't do it consciously. It's just the way I know how to be, and I don't know how to be otherwise. And so I think, you know, the only thing, I think I'm quite similar to Alex's in that way, apart from the fact that she I guess she really gets away with she gets out of any bad situation. She doesn't get stuck. She doesn't get tired. She's just she's much more resilient than me. I'm much more of a, I go through ups and downs. I can carry too much sometimes, and I'm like, oh, I'm tired. But yeah, Alex is just as tough as nails. She can go through anything.
Talking of being tired, this is sort of one of your first kind of huge sort of leading roles in a movie, and I was just wondering if there's a kind of new pressure that comes with that, and were the days particularly long?
Yeah, the days were very long. The preparation was long. I mean, the preparation was intense, and the difference is that you suddenly, when you're on a shoot like that, you don't have any spare time. You don't have any days off. I think we were working sometimes six-day week, so only one day was free. No time to relax. But lots of training, and of course you carry the whole thing on your shoulders. My character is in every scene, so there's a lot. The moment I would come home, I had to prepare for the next day and revise and rehearse all the stunt choreography or some stunt driving. So it's non-stop. It's huge work. It's much more intense than being a secondary character, of course.
So are you ever able just to switch off in the evenings, or is that almost impossible when you're making a movie like this?
Well, actually, it's not like I didn't have to have any effort to switch off. I think I was just like falling off my feet. actually. So I would just come back, and the moment I'd finish everything, rehearsing and preparing, I'd just, disconnect. I was just trying to catch up on sleep. There was nothing really, not much I did beyond. I mean, I managed to go during weekends to go to climb the Table Mountain and the Lion's Head, which is incredible. It's like I didn't have enough training, I guess. But it was also a part of keeping myself fit. And and I went to safari, looked at some animals. But otherwise, I was just sleeping and eating, trying to eat right, which, I had to get a special diet because, in the beginning I was not eating enough, and I need to get more protein and stuff, all that stuff that you need when you're an action hero. And it was pretty much straightforward. I didn't really go out or party or anything. Just a good regime and routine, sleeping and eating. That's it.
That's all I do anyway.
Yeah, it sounds like your life, right? And a lot of gun firing and a lot of crazy stunt driving. Driving 200 miles an hour. That was fun.
I was going to ask what you do to switch off after a long, arduous shoot, but it sounds like you climb mountains. I wasn't expecting.
Oh, I love climbing mountains. That's actually something. It's not, it's not just because obviously when you're in Cape Town, you have to climb the Table Mountain and the Lion's Head, at least those two, right? But apart from that, just mountain climbing and hiking is something I love. I love mountains. I'm fascinated by mountains. You see, I'd rather climb a mountain than ski. I'm not a skier. I like to go up, not down.
And I was wondering what it is then about action movies that sort of appeal to you, because it is a sort of the genre that we do tend to associate with you as an actress. I was wondering why.
It's funny though, because when you look at my filmography, it's not there aren't particularly more action films than other genres. But I guess it's a genre that's a commercial genre, and people are much more prone to watching this. This is easy to watch. You see, action films are easy to watch. People don't always feel like watching a drama or something that's psychologically difficult, or I hear that all the time. And this is entertaining. So, yeah, I do get entertained myself when I'm on set. So, which is why I keep coming back to this genre, because it is fun to make this kind of films for all of us, for people that are involved, for the directors, for the actors, and the crew too. You get to watch quite unbelievable things happening in front of you. You explode stuff, and you get to mock up car crashes and stuff like that. So it's always it's fascinating. There's a lot of very skillful people involved, and you learn a lot of things. So yeah, I like to go through that process. But I try not to do only that, and I've managed to kind of balance. It's good that I managed to do some drama on the side, and haven't done a comedy yet. But
A Perfect Day looks quite funny.
It is actually. It's like a comédie noire. It's like a dark comedy. It's not like a straightforward funny film, but it is. Yeah, it's written in a funny way, which is why I got attracted to it. I remember when I read it, I thought, this is great writing. The writing was great. Perfect dialogue, very witty. So yeah, A Perfect Day is an interesting one. But you've seen it?
I haven't seen it yet, no. But we've given it a 5-star review on our site because our writers saw it at the festival and loved it.
Okay. Yeah.
Because you've worked with, of course, Morgan Freeman and Momentum and Tim Robbins in Perfect Day. If you go back and watch Shawshank Redemption now, do you watch it in a slightly different way? Now you know the people kind of personally. Is that the case?
Yeah, actually, I haven't rewatched it since I've worked with them, so it's interesting. I should see it, and but no, I mean, I wouldn't watch it because I would see, I get in the story, but it's rather meeting those guys that's fascinating, because of course you see them, you see this work before, and I've seen their work before I was even acting, so I was fascinated by it, and they're such big big actors. It's an honor to meet those guys. But yeah, Morgan Freeman was in Oblivion also, so that's when I met him first, actually. So yeah.
It's pretty cool to work with him twice. What's he like to collaborate with?
He's lovely. He's great. Yeah. I remember I took a picture. I had to take I said, Morgan, I have to take a picture with you. Can we do a selfie? So I sat on his lap to take a picture. It was, you know, even as an actor, you do these things, you know.
And I was wondering, in regards to this role, I mean, it's a very strong role, both kind of physically and mentally, and it's a very strong female role. I was just wondering if that's part of the appeal, because these roles, they're starting to become more frequent, but they're still perhaps not as frequent as we'd like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, hey, you want more? We're very happy about it. I'd love to do, you know, well, the continuation or other things like that. But I'm glad that you like watching female lead films. I mean, for me as a woman, I like it because I identify with the character, but I'm a woman, so obviously, you know, guys are great, you know, but when it's a strong female lead, it's empowering to me. But obviously, being that girl and, you know, being the actor who takes on a role like that, it's even more empowering. It's great. It's thrilling, and it's kind of a dream for me of a little girl. You know, as a little girl, I always wanted to. If I watched movies like that, I would say to myself, I want to be like that, and it's a dream.
And have you noticed the kind of rise of late? Because obviously you had Scarlett Johansson in Lucy,
Mm-hmm.
and then you've got huge franchise like the Divergent series and obviously the Hunger Games franchise,
Mm.
which are being led now by female roles. It must be quite encouraging to know that these roles are out there at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I do see the change, and there are much more female lead and strong characters that are out there, and it's definitely changing. So I'm lucky. I'm part of that too now, and I got to play this character, and I hope I can do many more like that.
And how are you with your own stunts? Because there's quite a few driving sequences. Do you like? It must be. I've always thought it must be so fun to drive around.
It's fun. First of all, I love driving, so I'm someone who enjoys driving just in my daily life. I don't drive in London because it's impossible to drive here. You also drive on the other side of the road. But of course you see it differently.
Yeah.
No, but there's no place to park. But in LA, it's great. It's like heaven for me. People actually hate it because you have to drive, but I love it. I'm like, okay, I get to drive. Not when you're stuck in the traffic though. But driving, I love it, and I try and do most of it by myself. There are certain scenes that won't be allowed just even by the insurance for you to do it. But I did most of it myself. And fighting, the same thing. Most of it I do myself, and I train for it. So anything, I'll only get doubled if I'm unable to do something or it's physically dangerous. But most of the things I'm able to do, it's just, you know, fighting is easy. Well, you know, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun, and you learn how to pull it off and make it look dangerous. And of course, you know, there are things that you just fake very well, and you don't really have to, you know, crash in the car. So it's fascinating, all the stuff that gets involved in making that believable. It's quite cool.
So do you have an Oyster card? Because if you don't drive much in London, do you?
Oyster card?
Yeah.
No, I take cabs.
Nice. It's the best way to get around London.
I know.
So just finally, of course, you have been in the Bond movie before, and Bond is the talk of the town at the moment.
Mm.
I just wonder if you always keep an eye out for the franchise, if you always like to go along to see the movie, because is there a kind of legacy that comes along with being a Bond girl?
Yeah, of course. I definitely follow all the movies, and I can't wait to see the new one. But yeah, I'm so happy that I'm part of it. And once you're part of it, you're always part of it. So I still keep getting the questions about it. But for me, it was a wonderful experience, and I learned so much. And basically, everything that I'm doing in this film, the basics I got in Quantum of Solace. That's when I learned all of that for the first time. Car stunt driving, it was with those guys that I learned, and of course, you know, fighting, and then all the work with weapons, all the basics were given to me in that film. So it was a big starting point for me, even though it wasn't my first film. But I was still I was still beginning my career then. I think it was like my third or fourth movie. I hadn't done much before, so.
So do you keep in touch with other sort of Bond girls? Are there kind of Bond girl meetups? And my
no,
question
there
is,
isn't.
can I come to the next one?
Oh well, we probably will have to organize one just for you, because we haven't been doing that.
No.
But now that, you know, we have such a fun, you know, member, we're going to have to organize that. Yeah.
That sounds good to me. Right, well, thank you so much for your time today. It's been a real pleasure speaking to you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey,